My name is Michael Carley. I'm a StreamSets sales engineer, and I'm going to talk to you about the StreamSets platform in relationship to the RFI data mesh response. So the StreamSets data operations platform dovetails exceptionally well with some of the key tenets of a data mesh architecture, namely the ability to centrally collaborate and build integrations, but have decentralized control and decentralized execution. So what you'll see here is we'll be able to granularly share permissions to things like connections, the engines that run the integrations, the environments in which those integrations and engines run in. But we can have a collaborative common operating picture for all of our data integrations. So to start with the left side here of the control plane, you can see the setup. We have a tailor-made experience for the administrators of this environment. So with the environment subsection of this menu, you can see that we actually build the ability to have multiple environments. So that could be an on-prem data center, that could be following a multi-cloud strategy, or it could be something as simple as my laptop, which is where this demo is running, but it allows users to actually granularly share permissions to that environment and those series of engines. So if a user has those role-based accesses and has accesses to those specific environments, it becomes really easy for those teams to collaborate in those defined areas of the data ops environment. And so it becomes really easy for you to build data products and have a centrally hosted tool, but with decentralized execution. The same thing goes for deployments, which is essentially fleets of engines working on that group or that user's behalf. And then the same thing goes for those engines, which is the individual agents doing the integration work behind the scenes. So there's one last piece of infrastructure, which is the connections. So typically the data owners or the data consumers will have the ability to secure and share accesses to those environments. So if I have an API, I have maybe a database, I can securely share that information whereby users who subscribe to that connection, who again, I've shared permissions with in that environment, those users themselves will be able to read or write based on the permissions I choose to give them. And they won't know the name of the connection URL. They won't know the username or password and allow it to be lost. It's all securely shared here within this infrastructure pane, within this connections catalog. Now, for the developers, we have a pipeline repository that allows users to collaboratively build the integration logic that can be decentrally executed across those environments using those connections. So let's say, for example, there's some type of sanction on maybe a financial institution or something like that, or maybe you're monitoring through a wiretap some type of stream of financial activity for fraud. And so it becomes really easy to securely contain and monitor that real-time stream. And you can actually take the domain expertise of the financial agents that are really great at discovering and classifying fraud. We have this ability for the developers to produce modular reusable components of a pipeline. We call it a pipeline fragment. And those pipeline fragments allow people to pull down on demand technical and domain expertise to make data products within the data stream itself. It becomes really easy for you to package that up and call it down on demand while keeping a secure, decentralized environment that is collaboratively built. Now, when it comes to operating the pipeline, you can see here, I have the ability to monitor for changes in data, to monitor for the execution against a data contract. And I have a common operating picture of all of the data records that were processed. I can actually see where they were flown to inside the pipeline. And it becomes really easy for consumers and producers to produce modular components of the pipeline, assemble them together like Legos, and then operate them together in a collaborative environment, but that can be securely executed in an environment of their choosing. There's a couple other things I want to share real quick. So the last one is you can take pipelines like this and assemble them into what we call a topology. And a topology is basically the ability of users to kind of monitor the end-to-end data supply chain. And line of business users can actually take the metrics that are collected from that common operating picture and build their own SLAs free of developers, free of the operations of the pipeline. And it becomes quite a useful feature for, again, centralized control and collaboration in building, but decentralized execution. Thank you for your time.